Hi everyone, and welcome to the first weekly update video of the new year. Of course, Happy New Year to all of you. I hope that you had a lovely time, either with family, loved ones, or just on your own to have a little bit of chill day. Whatever it was, I hope that you enjoyed the holidays. Now, this was one of my challenges, one of my goals for 2023, to have somewhat regular, hopefully weekly updates. It wouldn't be my channel, of course, if the first one was not already one day late. I want to do these every Sunday. It's Monday. It's completely fine, I suppose. Now, these are the types of videos where, of course, I will be talking about books that I've been reading, some of the gifts that I got for Christmas I will already show, and also the books that I plan to read. I will also talk about the channel, what I've done last week, what I look forward to next week, but I will also just include other things that I found interesting in my week that are not completely book related, and I hope to see the same from you. This is my favorite part of these weekly updates, to have a conversation, to not only share my side of the story, but also hear what you guys have to say. Now, without further ado, I did manage to finish 2 books last week. I will talk about them more in detail in the wrap-up for December that I will have online somewhere next week. But for now, I finished The Veiled Throne by Ken Liu. This is the 3rd book in the Dandelion Dynasty. I listened to this one on audiobook, absolutely adored it. This is a 5-star read series for me. The first one, The Grace of Kings, amazing. I did not really see how it was possible to have a better sequel, but then it happened because The Wall of Storms was top notch. This one, The Veiled Throne, is just as good. Maybe I like it a little bit less, but still a 5-star read. We are going to discuss this on Steve's channel. First, it was said that that was going to be happening the 8th of January, but it works better in the schedule for everybody if we postpone it a little bit. I will talk about it once I know the set date. It will either be about The Veiled Throne in itself or The Veiled Throne together with the 4th and final book, Speaking Bones. So very excited for that. An amazing series that I cannot wait to finally finish, hopefully in the first quarter of the year. Then I also finished Sybil's Secret by Juliet Merlier. This was kind of a weird pick because I was in the middle of multiple books and it would be kind of stupid to pick up a new one, but I did. I finished Sybil's Secret. Now, there are multiple reasons. First of all, this was on my fall TBR, so not a strange pick. Second of all, Juliet Merlier is an author that I absolutely adore, and I read the first book, which is called Wildwood Dancing, earlier this year. This is a duology, so by finishing this, I finished the duology, which is hooray. But also, I am going to start a new Juliet Merlier trilogy in January. So it made sense to wrap up another series by her that I had going on before starting in a new one. This is the first YA series by her that I picked up, and I must say that even though I absolutely adored Wildwood Dancing, this one I liked a little bit less. I think part of it is that the romance is quite obvious from the start, while this was not the case in Wildwood Dancing, at least not for me. And here I could see why this is YA, and her other works that I've read so far are not. Now, it's still a fine book, but it's not an all-time favorite. It's not the book that I absolutely adored and I would recommend to everybody, which I normally do with Juliet Merlier books. Now, the first one is still amazing and you can read it as a standalone. I would still very much recommend that one. And if you absolutely adore this one and you want to read more about a different sister, Paula, in this one, then definitely pick it up. Paula is one of the scholars in the family, so that was quite interesting. And Sybil's Secret is... it has something to do with myths. I will not say anything more, but I enjoyed it. I just didn't love it as much as I was expecting from something by Juliet Merlier. Now, I have already picked a different book to read, and that is The Wolf of Ornyaro by K.S. Velasco. I had a little bit of anxiety, you could say, picking which next book to start, but I am going to start 3 new series in January, so this was one of those, and I am only 8 pages in so far, but I am enjoying it. Now, one of the things that takes me out of the story, I should say, is that this is a dark world, it's medieval inspired, and I absolutely adored it so far. I like the narrative voice, it is first person as well, but the queen has a dog and she calls him Blackie. I don't know about that name choice. It's just really not fitting for the type of story that she is trying to tell. Now, only 8 pages in, maybe this gets explained, but it could have been any other name and I would have liked it more probably. Now, in terms of another audiobook that I have started is The Wisdom of Crowds by Joe Abercrombie. This is the final book in the Age of Madness trilogy, which is the final trilogy in the First Law universe. I am reading this together with Jose and Raf, and for now we do have 2 options for a live show. It will either be the 22nd of January or the 29th of January. Both are Sundays, probably 8 p.m. Central European time, so in the evenings for us, and that is afternoon in the US, so it works for the majority of people who follow the channel. Now, I don't know if this will be a live show discussion just about Wisdom of Crowds, and if we will have a separate one for the entire First Law universe, or if we're going to combine them somewhat. That might be something that happens organically anyway, but please let me know what your input is. Would you like 2 separate ones, or just talk about the final book, and then talk about the First Law series in general in that one video. Now, I am quite looking forward to that. I actually haven't started it yet. I just accepted my hold on Libby. So that means that I should start it, because the hold for now is only, I think it's 10 days for that book. And I am still having a holiday. So I'm not really commuting from and to work, which means that the audiobooks in itself, I'm not listening to them a lot. So progress is very slow. And I do think that for my next weekly update, which will hopefully be next Sunday, I will still be listening to Wisdom of Crowds. But once I'm done with Wisdom of Crowds, the next audiobook / immersive read that I will be starting is, of course, Game of Thrones. Reason for that is that I am co-hosting a live show for this one, together with the two Joannas, Alex and Scott. And that live show will be the 4th of February. However, Steve is also hosting a read-along for this one, and that live show will be the 15th of January already. So this is a book that I know I love. I will definitely fly through it, I think, because I'm so in love with this world. I cannot wait to get back, but I do want to start it on time so that I'm definitely ready for that live show. So if you want to read it, definitely pick it up. It's an amazing series, and the first live show is already the 15th of January. Now, today, I'm also going to, for the first time, use my TBR jars, that you can see right here. So if you don't know, I will link my 2023 plans and goals video in general, but I have 2 TBR jars. One is for ongoing series that I want to finish. One is for standalones that I want to read. And I will be picking a random title once every month, so 2 books basically. So what I will be picking up next physically, because I do hope that I will be able to finish The Wolf of Ornyaro by my next weekly update, will probably depend on these TBR jars. Maybe there's a great standalone or continuation of series that I want to pick up next. So I actually don't know which of the jars are the standalones and which are the ongoing series. We will see based on the title, I suppose. So, The Once and Future King. This is a massive beast, but I do know that this is a standalone, and it is a retelling of the legend of King Arthur. So that's a standalone. I do not think that I will be picking this up after The Wolf of Ornyaro, but who knows, maybe. And then for series, ongoing series, please don't be a massive beast as well. Oh, okay, one fell out. I guess that will be the obvious next pick. The Silent Gods. I think that this is not the name of the second book, but the first one is called Master Artificer, or that's the second one. That's the one that I need to read now. Master Artificer by Justin T. Call. The first one was a book that I thought was going to be grimdark, and it was not. This is the origin story of the evil lord. But in the first one, it almost read like he was going to be the chosen one, or maybe it's a different character, and I'm going to be up for a twist. So one that I'm quite happy that I picked up, because I don't think that it would be high on my priority list otherwise. So this, at the very least, will give me a little bit of an incentive to start those series and to finish those series. And that is the second book in a quartet, but it's the last one that is published. So that would mean that I'm immediately up to date. Now, I also just wanted to give you a small sneak peek of some of the books that I got for Christmas. I am going to have a Christmas book haul, and you also maybe saw my bookish Secret Santa, but I also got some books from in real life friends. And the first one that I have here is Children of Earth and Sky by Guy Gabriel Kay. I'm so happy that I got this one, because I actually got this one from a friend who reads fantasy, but not the type of epic fantasy that I normally read, so I don't think that she knew who Guy Gabriel Kay was. And I recently read, of course, A Brightness Long Ago, which I absolutely adored, but I did not really talk about that one. So to be gifted this one is perfect. I have no other Guy Gabriel Kay books on my shelves. I definitely want to read more coming 2023, so this is perfect. And this one already is in the standalone TBR jar, by the way. So hopefully this will be a pick in any of the upcoming months. And then another book that I got from an in real life friend who is also not into books, but I gave him my wish list, and this is a perfect pick, because that is Rat Goddess Sing by Maya Dean. Now this is a 2022 new release that I wanted to pick up over summer. It never really happened, but this is a Song of Achilles retelling, but it's more of a gender bent, so it's very unique. And I have heard great things of it. Actually, I had a lot of anticipated releases videos last year, and somebody told me throughout the year that they picked it up because of that anticipated releases video, and they absolutely adored it. So it's a little bit shameful that I haven't picked it up yet, but that does make me very curious to read it, hopefully in the course of 2022, 2023. And this is also one that already went into the standalone TBR jar. So very thankful, of course, for these gifts. And if you want to see some more, those will be in my Christmas book haul. Now, for what happened on the channel, last week I did not have reading sprints because it's the holiday season. There were so many things going on, and I had one day that I could do them, the 26th of December, but that was my grandma's birthday, and festivities got a little bit out of hand, or it took a little bit longer to get our food than I was expecting, so it would have been extremely stressful to be here on time. Decided to not do it, but of course next week reading sprints will be back, and that's something that I also hope to do every week. I also had 3 videos that were uploaded. The first one is the Bookish Secret Santa unboxing. By now I of course know that my Secret Santas were Steve from Steve Talks Books, Paramita, who does not have a channel but is a dear friend who watches both mine and Steve's channel. And then the third one was Jeroen from Walking with Books, who also has a lovely channel. All of those really knocked it out of the park with their gifts, so extremely grateful for those. I also had an ongoing series check-in, so all of the series that are in that TBR jar, they're quite a bit. I think that they're almost 25 maybe, and those are the ongoing series that I could continue if I want to. So there are even more if we count the series that I'm up to date with, but where I'm waiting for the new release. And then the last video that I had up was quarter 1 TBR. So if you don't know, I do seasonal TBRs or quarterly TBRs. So I talk about the TBR that I have for the next 3 months, and I had that up. That was a total of maybe 15 books. So we will see if I will be able to finish them. Now for the last TBR of 2022, I actually did quite well because more than 90% of the books that I picked up were part of that TBR. I did not read all of them, but it was really easy to have a place to go to, my little TBR card. These are the books that you can pick from. You're not overwhelmed. This is your selection. So I do hope that the seasonal TBRs or the quarterly TBRs for 2023 will also be useful. And The Wolf of Arnjaro, as well as The Wisdom of Crowds, was one of those, were 2 of the books on the TBR. So for now, I am doing quite well. Now, for next week, I don't really know the videos that we will have because I haven't filmed them yet. But I have a couple, of course, that are staples to have at the start of January. First of all, we have the TBR, the wrap-up for December that is coming. Then, of course, my top 10 books of 2022. I already have the list, just need to film the video. I also have the disappointments of 2022 and the DNFs, which will be 1 video. And then other great books that I would still want to mention because they are not on my top 10 list, but I still thought that they were great. I also want to rank the 2022 new releases that I have read, which are, I want to say maybe 10 or 11. So there are one that I can, or a couple that I can rank from least good to best, I suppose. Now, I still really wanted to upload my spoiler-free discussion for A Brightness Long Ago by Guy Gabriel Kay, just because I adored it so much. I really want to put it out there, and I also have the fantasy standalones that I want to put out, some recommendations. I have a new top 10 list that, it's not a top 10 list, but I have multiple fantasy standalone recommendation lists on the channel. This will be part 3, I think, and I still have 10 that were not on previous videos that I still want to include. So definitely a couple of videos that I would like to put out. Not all of them are going to happen next week. Definitely let me know which ones you are most interested in, then I will try to have those out as soon as possible. Now, I also, by the way, updated my Goodreads goal for 2023, my reading challenge. My challenge is 72 books, which I did not meet last year. Also one that I want to update. Of course, my stats and goals update video for 2022. Spoiler alert, I did not hit 72 books, which was my Goodreads goal for last year. I only read 55, I think, which is okay, not as good as I wanted it to be, but I'm still very hopeful for 2023. So definitely let me know what your goal is, or if you don't really like to set that type of challenge, which is totally fine as well. So those are the type of videos for the channel next week. And of course, the reading sprints, which will be happening on Tuesdays. I like to have them on Tuesdays anyway, especially when I'm going to work, because on Wednesdays I can work from home. So it's easier to stay up a little bit later on Tuesdays. Now, in terms of other things that I've been up to, well, first of all, I have not been reading as much as I liked. This is the story of my life, especially during the holidays, because I think that I will have a lot of time. I don't, but I also purchased a Switch, so a Nintendo Switch. I was going back and forth whether or not this was a good decision. It's the best decision in a long time, to be honest. I'm having so much fun. I am buying way too many games, but part of it is, of course, the season. A lot of people got Christmas games that they don't want, so you can snatch up games pretty cheap. Like I got Mario Odyssey, which I am going to pick up today, secondhand, for half the price of what it is new. And then I also got Donkey Kong. I am a big fan of platform games because I'm not that good at gaming, so I need that. I need to have a pretty linear story, at least for the majority of games that I'm playing. Having one that's a little bit more difficult is fine, but not multiple. And then the one that I'm playing right now is Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy, because I played that on PlayStation when I was younger, so it's part of nostalgia. It's also a difficult game, at least for me, but I'm having a lot of fun. So, best decision of my life, but that does mean that might be a little bit overselling it, but a good decision, let's put it that way. So I'm very happy that I got that one, but it also means that I have been reading not as much as I would like to. Also, we had quite a bit of parties with friends and family, and we played some board games, which is also quite nice. But the preparation for the parties and then playing board games and then being maybe a little bit tired the day after is not the perfect environment to read. But the board games that we played, so a lot of them are party related just because none of those are extreme gamers, you could say. Crypto, which is a perfect game in which you play with 2 teams with word games. I think that this is the better version of Codenames. So if you like Codenames, if you like to have that word game type of game, this one is better. Then we also played Dixit. This is perfect for non-gamers. It's beautiful, it has that magical feel to it, and it's for people who are creative, but even if you're not creative, I'm not, you can still do pretty good in this game. So it's very laid back, it's very cozy. Perfect if you want to have just something that's not extremely stressful. And then I also played, well, this one, which is Secret Hitler. And this one you need to have the right group. I only played it 2 times. It was not the right group. It was the same group we tried to play 2 times. Nobody really understood what they needed to do. And if a lot of new people don't understand what they need to do, this is a social deduction game, by the way, you will not get better. Because after a while, you start seeing what the 2 different groups, what certain secret roles behave like. But if those secret roles are not behaving the way that they should because they don't understand the game, you will also not really learn. So both of those games really did not work. However, I still hope that I will find the good group to play this game with, because if you do find them and if they are very, I don't really know how to say it, but very fanatic about the game, then it's a great experience. And then the 2 other games that I played, the first one is The Mind. This is a short card game, it's cooperative. You are not allowed to speak and you get a number of cards with numbers from 1 to 100. All of them are unique. And then you need to, as a group, put all of your cards from low to high. But you're not allowed to speak. So this is a fun game. You start with 1 card per player, so that's quite easy. If you have the 5, then chances are pretty high that you should lay your card first, because the 3 other people in the group will not have anything lower than 5. But the highest level is that you have, I think, 12 cards in your hand, so then it's a lot more hectic. Really enjoy this one, and if you have the right group and if you really feel each other and know what certain things and certain cues that are not words mean, it's a lot of fun. And then the last game that we played was Potion Explosion. This is, I don't really play those kind of games on my cell phone, where you have like multiple gems, and if they're the same color, then you have an explosion and you get multiple points. That's this. If you are that kind of gamer on your cell phone, this is the perfect game. So again, one that everybody can understand whether or not you play a lot of board games. But all of those meant that we had a lot of fun. I always like when people are over or when we go to a party to have board games, just because it's a fun experience. It's a social thing that you can do, and I like it a lot more than just watching TV together. I understand if that's not everybody's jam, but I'm happy that during the holidays, people are a lot more open to starting a new game, to learning a game, while sometimes throughout the year, I have a lot more issues getting people to actually play with me. Now, today is Monday. I am going to have a walk with the dogs. I am going to hopefully film a little bit more, and then my godchild is coming over to have a sleepover. So we're probably going to go to McDonald's, because for a 6-year-old, that is the best experience of their lives, I suppose. And to be honest, I'm a little bit excited as well. So that was everything that I wanted to mention. As always, I will link all of the videos that came out last week and all of the dates if you want to join for the live discussion in the description box down below. Please let me know how your week has been and what you're looking forward to next week. And if you do want to see my quarterly TBR, you can watch that one right here. As always, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and see you next week. Bye!